I grew up in Croydon, so as with most British people, I was pro-choice. I went to medical school. I thought abortion was fine, didn't have any problem with it, other than, really late abortion, which most people begin to get uneasy about. And it was really in medical school that I had the chance to challenge my views. Sadly, still most people, I think, don't. But I really kind of got into it as a topic, heard a couple of talks on it, had some lectures on it. I did a lot of reading, had discussions, listened to other opinions, which I think is a good thing, and really over a gradual period changed my mind on it. When I saw in first year the development of the baby in the womb, and then later on I got to think about the ethics, I got to see the impact of abortion on women, and I really just found myself thinking I was not persuaded by what the culture teaches us, and so changed my mind basically on the basis of that evidence. There was one particular point in medical school where we were doing a cesarean section on twin babies on the woman. And it was just fascinating to think, it's a very surreal experience. You pull babies out of the tummy. Literally, it seems like it should be more complicated. And there is obviously a bit more to it, but you really do just pull the babies out. And at one point, of course, there was one baby outside the womb. And this was a human being, a person that had all the same rights as everyone else, totally equal, because all of us are equal. And then their sister was still inside the womb, who looked pretty much identical to them in every way, was the same age, had the same abilities, everything else. But she was still inside and had nowhere near the same legal rights or recognition. And that just sort of solidified to me how uncomfortable I was with this idea that birth makes all the difference, that the same thing inside the womb can be a blob of cells, the same thing outside the womb is a person that we have to really look after. We have babies that we treat in neonatal units who are born at 23 weeks, and we do everything we can to try to keep them alive and to support them, and we treat them that way. And then at the same time, if you have a 23-week baby in the womb in this country, you can have an abortion for any reason at all, even if it's just because the baby's a girl. And so over time, I just found myself more and more unpersuaded by what I'd been taught growing up and the sort of propaganda I'd heard. And so changed my mind, which I didn't expect to do. I didn't expect to be speaking about it either very often, but I found, we have 200,000 abortions a year in this country. A quarter of all pregnancies end in abortion. And 1 in 3 women in their lifetime in the UK will have an abortion. So it's a huge problem, not just affecting all those babies, but affecting hundreds of thousands of women as well. And so I really found that I had a pressure weighing on me to speak about this, to say we can support babies and women together. We can say that both of those lives are important, and try to find a better answer for these sorts of situations, for women and for men and for babies, and see if we can do something better.